Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Taxi.
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Talking about cool chicks, this one. She's in Australia, I believe, her homeland. She's the best newspaper columnist in the country, the world for that matter. The New York Post's Miranda Devine. Miranda, good morning. I guess for you all, good evening, good afternoon. I have no idea. How are you, Miranda? What's going on out there in Australia?
I'm really well, thanks, Sid, and congratulations. Happy anniversary. And this is a very hard act to follow in Monica Crowley, who is such a darling and so articulate, and she's so correct. Everything she said is right about you and being just the voice of reason and courage. I mean, courage is so lacking these days. So many, on the right, so many people are wimping out and blinking and, the going gets tough when you are getting close to winning, and they are going to make it harder and harder, and it is not the time to flinch. And so you never flinch. You always wade in there, and honestly, I can't think of any issue that you've waded in on when it's been unpopular or difficult where you haven't been right in the end, like you have indicated.
Wow. What are you kidding me? You just went past Monica with that one. Make sure you record that right there. She just said, Sid is always right.
I didn't quite say that. You've just verbalized me, but it's actually better than Sid is always right. It's like you go in like the mayoral race, like that was tough. Like you had a few stoushes with people over that, but you were proven right in that. And unfortunately, none of it worked out and we ended up with Mamdani, but you fought the good fight. And so I just think that kind of courage, I don't know where it comes, maybe from your dad, but it's pretty rare, and it's a very New York quality as well. So good on you, and may you keep on keeping on for another 10, 20 years.
Well, thank you, Miranda. God, I love you. You know I do. I don't need you to tell me all those nice things. I do. I think everything you say about me is the same about you. I do. And, you talk about wimping out and Republicans, and I had the president on the show yesterday, and I'm going to play a couple of cuts about this conversation with me and Trump, because I know you're on the other side of the world. Talking about the mayor, Fry, in Minneapolis, and the governor, Walz. I know you wrote a column. More martyrs for cynical Dems after fatal Alex Preddy shooting. Lewis, if you wouldn't mind playing this for our friend Miranda. This is cut number 4. This is me talking to Trump just yesterday about that situation.
But I had two very good talks. I had Jacob Fry and I had Governor Walz, and I mean, they were great calls. So let's see how they report it. But they were very nice calls, very respectful.
So is there a possibility, President Trump, of some type of compromise? I read that some of the Guard will be leaving the state of Minnesota, some type of compromise to, I guess, make those guys feel like they're in charge, even though, God help us.
Yeah, well, I think so. Yeah, I mean, I think so. What we need is their criminals. They have criminals, and all I said, just give us your criminals. And if you give us the criminals, it all goes away. They're there to pick up murders. I don't know if you saw, but it was a couple of days ago announced that crime is the lowest in the history of our country, the recorded history of our country.
Wow.
That's a big statement. That's because of us. That's because we go into cities and towns. Usually we're embraced. Sometimes we're not. Chicago is like pulling teeth with Pritzker and with the mayor of Chicago, low IQ person. And usually we're embraced, but sometimes we're not. And when we're not, it just makes it harder.
All right, so he admitted there that, they're going to pull back a little bit. Then he went on with Will Cain about 8 hours later and admitted they're going to de-escalate Minnesota. So I got him to say it first. And when you say Republicans are wimping out, there are some Republicans, even Trump supporters, that are afraid the president is starting to wimp out just a little bit. What about those thoughts?
Well, yeah. And look, I must say that, and I sort of preface this with the knowledge that, you know, when you think that Donald Trump's doing something like wimping out, for instance, he sort of feigns, he's just doing the weave, or he's flipping, or he's turning the tables. That's what you hope, right? But it's too burnt into my memory what happened in 2020. And he was president and he allowed those riots to take off across the country. People were killed, cities were burned, terrible things happened. The left got the upper hand. And I could never understand at that time why he was so sort of benign about the whole thing. And I thought, well, it must be because, you know, he's got political advice saying that it'll damage his election prospects. Well, he lost the election anyway, or, you know, he was cheated out of it.
Not he said so.
The cheating.
Right.
Yeah, like he did in 24, you know. But in this case, I hope that's not, and it does not bode well. You mentioned the Will Cain interview, that President Trump kind of damned Greg Bovino with faint praise. He says he was a pretty out there kind of guy. And, you know, maybe we don't need that. Like, Greg Bovino is a hero. And his Border Patrol and those ICE agents are going into battle every day in Minneapolis. They're up against not protesters, but a highly organized militia. These are insurgents. You know, I do not understand why there isn't the FBI in there breaking these up. Why have they not spent the last year infiltrating these groups, just like the Biden administration was doing with their FBI? Why is the IRS not cracking down on these so-called non-profits? You know, we get told that these things are going to happen, and then they don't happen. Ron DeSantis came out today, yesterday, and he was talking about the remittances. We've got to just tax these remittances that the illegal aliens are sending back to their home countries. Stop them sending them back. Like, that was being talked about for a year. Why hasn't it happened? Part of it's Congress being lazy or weak or disorganized. Or I don't know what their problem is. A lot of Republicans are just resting on their laurels and thinking, we'll just leave it up to Donald Trump. And Donald Trump has said, we'll just leave it up to Border Patrol. It's too much. They're in a war and they've got their hands tied behind their back. And Waltz can't be trusted.
No.
He's told his cops to stand down. It's just not fair.
All true. And it didn't take Fry very long after Trump said nice things about the phone calls with him and Walls, with me and Will Cain, to come out and say, well, advice, we're not going to help him anyway. So it's not like, you know, I was talking to John Katsimatidis and Rita Cosby yesterday on their great show, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. You've been on it many times. And I said, look, this is a different Trump than 2016. I love the man. He was on with me for 22 minutes yesterday. You know, he called me up, as you know, at the White House just last month. I love him. Appointed me to the Holocaust Council. He's different. 2016, he wanted to kill everybody. Now he wants to make love to everybody. It doesn't matter. You know, Walls is not a bad guy. Fry's not a bad guy. And still yesterday, I gave him 2 or 3 different reasons why he should not be saying nice things about Mamdani. I said, Mr. President, when you captured Maduro, how great was that? He killed you for it. When Good was killed in Minnesota, he said your administration is evil. He's already said 3 or 4 things about you and your administration that are not very nice, and you continue to say nice things about him, the mayor. So let's play this for Miranda Lewis. Trump once again heaping some praise on Mamdani, even though I tried to make him go the other way. This is cut number 3.
I think he's got a really good personality. I think he's got, you know, tremendous assets, but he's got some things. Forget about what he says about me. I don't really care about that. It's policy. It's, you know, concepts that really haven't worked over the last 10,000 years, to be honest with you. They haven't worked. And maybe you can get them to work, but a lot of people think that can't happen. So got to be very careful. When people leave, when you have a stock exchange opening up in Texas, when things like that happen, makes your job really makes your job a lot harder. I'd love to see him be successful, because if he's successful, that means that's a good thing for New York. So I would love to see him be successful. Those policies, the ones that I'm hearing about, typically haven't worked. Not typically, they've never worked anywhere, ever.
Never.
Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.